Did you guys see this thing called the Panama playlists?
Nuh-uh.
Okay, so basically, this guy scraped a shitload of data from Spotify, and he said, I found the real Spotify accounts of celebrities, politicians, and journalists. Many use their real names. With a little sleuthing, I can say with near certainty, yep, this is them. We've been scraping their accounts since summer 2024. Playlists, live listening feed, everything. I know what songs they played, when, and how many times. Heard of the Panama Papers? That exposed offshore bank accounts. This is about onshore vibes. And now, like, this guy has basically published a number of like the actual Spotify playlists of a number of prominent members of the Trump administration and like Silicon Valley CEOs. And I was fascinated by this, and I'd like to share some of them with you now, Jake and Thomas. Starting with Vice President J.D. Vance. And okay, this is from his playlist titled "Making Dinner." It features the songs "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
And One Time by Justin Bieber.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I like that.
And then, okay, he has a second playlist, and I don't know what this is referring to, but the playlist is called Gold on the Ceiling. And it features the songs What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction, San Francisco by the Mowglis, Get Lucky by Daft Punk and Pharrell, and You Are a Tourist by Death Cab for Cutie.
Gold on the Ceiling is that Black Keys song that was really big.
Oh,
Gold
God.
on the ceiling, whatever the hell. I wonder if that's his fucking playlist.
Did you guys did you guys ever make like a having sex playlist, or did you have like a go-to sex song? Because like people always have talked about this, but like myself personally, like I've never been much of a music listener during the act of lovemaking.
I've never understood any ritual when it comes to whacking it or fucking. I don't
never really needed like a bunch of songs.
Yes,
really,
yeah. People are like, how do you get in the
which
mood?
album should we put on after this? You know,
I remember when I was in high school, like one of my friends, it was like sort of like almost a boast about how long he lasted, and he was just like, last night I had sex to the whole Sublime album. And I was like, you're lying. That's lying.
Well, also like
maybe you got to Santeria and then you busted.
Some of that had to be aftercare.
Yeah, I've never been in a situation where I feel like I'm like, hold on, let me put something on. Normally, I'm like, oh, you're gonna let me. We're doing okay. Hey, I don't want to push my luck. I only listen to like music for like bipolar losers. So I'm not gonna throw on like Lonesome Crowded West or like what's that Lou Reed song, The Murder Mystery? Yeah, baby, I'm gonna put something on. This is the Velvet Underground. It's just Lou Reed mumbling into a microphone for like, oh, cool, you're leaving? Yeah, that's fine. I figured, yeah. Never had a taste in music that I think would lend itself to that.
Yeah. I'm gonna set the mood by putting on Hex Induction Hour by The Fall. I think you're really gonna enjoy this.
Yes, yeah. Here's a there's this band called what's the fuck Harm's Way. They're like a power violence beatdown hardcore band. If you could just put on something lacy, that would be good. Yeah, that would work out good for me.
But just as a psychological profile of the vice president, what do you make of his playlist? What do you make of his music selection?
Exactly. I mean,
it seems appropriate to me.
With that video of him running around Disney World with his kids, like that's like he's just.
I think he was meant to be like a homeschool mom.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Listen, when we were doing the episode last where Felix was describing him as like we were talking about him at the musical theater parties, and Felix was like, yeah, he's the guy that's like, do you want to see how good I can hug? Like that, like that's the music of a guy who would say something like that. You're listening to music while you make dinner? I mean, I don't know. I guess people do that, but that makes sense. That tracks. I don't think he particularly has like any mystery to him, though. It would be weird if you were like, oh, Prince, and then like Sleep Token or something, or if you were like old '90s emo, like that would be. I'd be like, damn, okay, this guy knows ball. But no, that tracks.
One of the things that irritates me most about JD Vance is how close to myself he is, just like in demographic. I mean, because we're from like basically the same county, but also just like I'm going through this playlist and like my taste has expanded since then. But this is essentially like the indie rock I listened to in high school. You know, like
right.
Billy Bragg and Wilco album. I'm looking through the full playlist. Pepper by Butthole Surfers,
That's on JD's playlist. That's a great song.
Bohemian Like You, in the full playlist.
Do you know what
I open it up?
When you first stop listening to what your dad listens to, which is like AC/DC and Metallica, great bands or whatever.
Jethro Tull.
Yeah, and you're like, what kind of music's out there? And the first group of friends you have that you smoke weed with, they're like, dude, Wilco, Mountain Goats, and you're like, oh, this is in my personality for a little while. I kind of wish JD Vance's old high school pictures of him like wearing eyeliner. I would have loved for him to have been like a Taking Back Sunday guy. You know what I mean? Just like a mall emo guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a type of guy that you could very easily be, again, demographically, if you are our age from Hamilton County, born in the late 80s. Like that is, he could have very easily walked into that.
Is that tough for you, Chris? Is that tough to have a similar music taste to JD Vance when he was in high school? Try seeing him every time you look in the mirror, buddy.
He's awesome, dude.
Next up is Caroline Levitt, who is the current White House press secretary. And by the way, this is for her playlist, Baby Shower. Now, I have to say, and like maybe this is uncharitable of me, but every time I see her, and certainly when I'm thinking about this Baby Shower playlist, my mind does go to the fact that she married a guy who was 59 when she was 27, that her husband is 3 decades older than her. But you know what? They seem like a lovely couple. Let's look at the Baby Shower playlist. Run the World, parenthetical, Girls by Beyonce. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. A Bar Song, Tipsy by Shabuzi.
Beautiful.
I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. Mom by Meghan Trainor. Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Rae. And Respect by Aretha Franklin. I think that's a credible Baby Shower mix. That's
it's like
about moms and girls.
It's like Hannah Arendt's Banality of Evil or whatever. Like just like in your mind, you're like, no, she's listening to old German marching songs when she's like testing out the pumpers and stuff. But it's just like, girl, put your records on, and she like turns over and she's like, I hate brown people. I just don't like them. Like, I just can't. It really sucks when they're just like that. I know so many. I was talking to my buddy about this when we were on the road. I know so many Caroline Levitts. Like girls that I went to church with that like, obviously I left the church, but like youth summer camp girls who like they grow up, we're in our late 20s, early 30s. And on Facebook, they're like, my new hubby, my rock, my spirit. And it's like a 58-year-old sheriff from like cousin fucker County, Texas. And he's just got nothing.
Oh, wait, Jake, I was like, in preparing this, I found, I was just like, looked up Caroline Levitt husband because I wanted to read more into that. And I saw an interview with her where it was in the print and they were like, do you ever get questions about the age gap in your relationship? And she was like, ours isn't a typical relationship, but he's my rock.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, yeah.
So this is a type. This is a type.
It's a type of like browbeating English teacher. Probably had a military boyfriend and then was like, no, he's he threw me down the stairs too much. So
that's not a rock. That's not a stable relationship.
No, you need a guy that owns a tire shop. Like that's going to be the dude that does it for you. Yeah. Can't stand.
Right,
she's my least favorite. I just want to throw that out there. Just something about her.
No. She's very unpleasant.
I liked the Palmer Lucky one. I just looked that one over.
Okay, yeah. Let's look at the Palmer Lucky one because this is the only one of these playlists that I think provides a very stark psychological profile of the person in question. The Palmer Lucky playlist is named Best Music Ever, and it features Ultimate by Lindsay Lohan. Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson, So Yesterday, Hilary Duff, Bye 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 by NSYNC, 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, and Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne.
Fuck him, dude.
Now, I'm just saying, like, if Palmer Lucky is ever accused of a sex crime and I were the prosecutor, I would present this playlist as Exhibit A in his prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, though, like, imagine, like, rolling up, like, a really fat one and, like, you're just like sitting in the side B with Palmer and like you're just passing it back and forth and like you're just like listening to Vanessa Carlton or maybe he puts on like Welcome to Jamrock or something like that. Like probably a good hang. Like he does have his faults for sure, but it is something where you're like maybe you can look past it.
I get kind of
look at his bomb ass music.
It's just like I think it's weird for an adult man to have the exact same musical taste as a 14-year-old girl from when he was 14.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say like it's Target music.
Maybe he's in love with a ghost.
Yeah.
There's a ghost in my house.
The ghost of a 14-year-old girl, but she's been dead so long. He's like, I don't know. It's marginal. I don't know.
Next up, this is an interesting one. This is Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. This is just from liked tracks on Pandora. That's not even Spotify. The first one on there is a song called "The Parachute" by Jerry Goldsmith, and that is just from the original score to the film Air Force One, starring Harrison Ford.
That's beautiful. I love that.
He's got a song called "Peace" by David Talk, "One Night Love Affair" by Bryan Adams, "All Through the Night" Cyndi Lauper, "Can't Help Falling in Love" Chris Isaak, "Finding Nemo Egg" from the Finding Nemo soundtrack performed by the City of Prague Philharmonic Orchestra, "Have You Ever Seen the Rain" by Creedence Clearwater Revival, "Don't You Forget About Me" by Simple Minds, and "May It Be" by Enya. So I like that. There's an interesting diversity of taste. He's got eclectic tastes.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm going through these, and it's like, yeah, it's just stuff that you'd hear at like a Walmart barbershop. Like, it's just, I don't like the term like coworker music. I don't like the idea of like reducing people to like whatever NPCs, but sometimes I see stuff like this that's like, okay, maybe they're on to something. Because this isn't like, if you tell me like, hey, dude, come over, we're gonna throw some barbecue on the grill, dude. We're gonna get some beers going, and we're gonna listen to "Cold as Ice" by Foreigner, and we're gonna listen to "I Got a Feeling" by Black Eyed Peas. You down with that?
Well, I mean, like I think most of these sort of hew to a certain profile is that like it's all like there's nothing here that's like unexpected for any of these people. There's nothing that's a little bit off the beaten path. It's all just very kind of like of any genre, kind of like mainstream music that's mostly been produced in the last 20 years, probably, for the most part. However, there is one person on this Panama playlist who I was thrilled by their playlist, and I thought it was hilarious. And this is like genuinely like, this is not just generic music taste. This is something very specific that I was extremely charmed by and found hilarious. This is Chris Sevita, who was Trump's 2024 campaign manager. This is his playlist titled Indiana Jones. And his playlist is just the John Williams scores from different parts of the Indiana Jones movies. And just looking at the titles of these songs from someone who got Trump elected president is very funny, because they begin: Children in Chains, The Temple of Doom, Indy's First Adventure, Ah, Rats, Ants, and then finally my favorite, Slave Children's Crusade. And these are all, of course, by the great John Williams.
Dude,
this is my child slave playlist by the great John Williams. But I'm astonished that he included the John Williams theme "Ants" from the Indiana Jones movie, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I like Jacob Hellberg. I guess it says the Undersecretary of State for Economic Growth. He listened to "Apple" by Charlie XCX 56 times. This is his number one song. And then number two to that is "Phenomenon" by Chapo Roan. His whole playlist is music where if you were a CIA agent and you were pretending to be a homosexual man, this is what you would have. like God Bless the USA, Under Pressure, Party in the USA. Yeah, this is like, Ethan Hunt, you're going undercover as a 38-year-old homosexual. What's up? Ving Rhames is like, Ethan, you got to listen to Party in the USA a bunch. And they're not going to believe you're not gay.
We're living in Spotify's algorithm now. You're playing 4D chess against Charlie XCX.
Oh, my God.
Well, speaking of someone going undercover as a 40-year-old homosexual, this is Hakeem Jeffries, Minority Leader of the U.S. House of Representatives,
Yes,
from his
sir.
playlist, Galentine's, which I believe is a reference to Galentine's Day from the show Parks and Recreations.
I believe so.
It features Bad Girls by MIA, We Found Love by Rihanna, Best I Ever Had by Drake, Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani, Always on Time by Ja Rule and Ashanti, Diva by Beyonce, and Love by Keisha Cole.
Jesus Christ.
Here's another thing I've noticed about like whether these guys are Silicon Valley or in the White House or in the media. I was interested by like the selections that they made from the genre of rap music seem to be almost entirely Drake.
Yeah, that is true.
Pam Bondi, the U.S. Attorney General, has "Hot in Here" by Nelly on her playlist. But for the most part, Ja Rule and Ashanti was on Hakeem's. But I've noticed with most of these people, like when they put like a rap song into one of these playlists, it is almost always a Drake song.
Yeah. I mean, he's the most used. It's the most like, I mean, if JD Vance was listening to like fucking
King Von,
Pooh Shiesty, yeah, I'd be like,
You guys see Mark Benioff?
What's Mark Benioff's?
He has a playlist called High Energy Party, and it starts with "Let's Get Retarded" by Black Eyed Peas.
yes, sir.
Another thing that's fascinating to me is like the naming of the playlists, and the one thing I really like was from Mark Andreessen, old egghead. Like these tech guys, they need to like maximize their productivity. They need to like categorize everything and sort of like have this regimented routine that makes them, billionaire geniuses and captains of industry. Mark Andreessen has a playlist called "Go the Fuck to Sleep."
Yeah.
Featuring "You Look Good to Me" by the Oscar Peterson Trio, "I Have Dreamed" by Christina McBride Trio, and "Reach Out and Touch It" by the Tord Gustafsson Trio. So that's a trio of trios under the playlist "Go to Sleep." And then his next playlist is titled "Focus Alpha."
Focus Alpha.
And it includes a song called "System 1" by Makeup and Vanity Set, "Sneaking Suspicions" by Ogre Sound, "Imagine the Fire" by Hans Zimmer, and "Billions and Billions" by Stellar Drone.
Focus Alpha. You can go and click on the hyperlinks and see the entire playlist. JD Vance's entire Making Dinner playlist. I wonder what else is on it. It'd be funny if it was just those two songs that he has listed, just over and over and over and over again.
I have to say, I'm scrolling through Mark Benioff's High Energy Party playlist, and this might be one of the wackest party playlists I've ever seen, because it starts off with basically every Lady Gaga album, which is, fine for a high energy party, but then it's like every song ever recorded by Metallica in just like one playlist. And then you get to the bottom and it's like 6 different versions of the Hawaii 5-0 theme. And I'm just imagining how schizophrenic the event would be if you just put this all on shuffle.
Oh, dude, this is no doubt JD Vance's Getting Pussy playlist. 100%.
Hey, Usher, come here.
So Take a Walk, Passion Pit, or this might just be like a nice Sunday. No, never mind. It's not Getting Pussy. Sunday Bloody Sunday is on here by U2.
All right. This is a good one, courtesy of Dan Crenshaw, U.S. Congressman from Texas. This is from his playlist, 40th B-Day. Okay, it features "Pursuit of Happiness" by Steve Aoki, Kid Cudi, MGMT, and Ratatat. "Million Voices" by Otto Knows. The Song About Being in Paris by Jay-Z and Kanye West. "Anything Could Happen" by Ellie Goulding. "All Night" by Iconopop. "Paper Planes" by MIA. "Black Dress" by 070 Shake and Anya. And "Unholy" by Sam Smith and Kim Petras.
That last one is crazy.
He was in the Navy SEALs, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. He was in the Navy. He's a Navy SEAL. That last one tracks.
Yeah. What did he lose? I thought he lost an eye, not an ear.
Right, yeah.
What's up with this musical thing?
Some of this
that was another one from 3 Points.
Some of this stuff is just like, for Crenshaw, some of this stuff is just,
I mean, if you open the full playlist, he's clearly just into main stage festival EDM.
yes, yeah.
It's like all full of like, Armin van Buuren and like
Excision.
Calvin Harris and stuff like that. Zed.
Yeah. Yeah, more like Dan Crenshaw.
There you go. Dan Cringe Hard. You know what? I have this idea of these guys, and this 40th birthday playlist is I just thought Dan Crenshaw listened to like Coulter Wall or any of the new like outlaw country stuff. This is honestly kind of weird for me. He's sitting there with his fucking eye patch listening to Ellie Goulding. Like, he's just taking it off and cleaning his eye hole to "All Night" by Iconopop.
And, just to show that I'm not only going to show the musical tastes of people I despise, let's look at U.S. Congresswoman from Michigan, Rashida Tlaib's playlist. This is from her playlist, "In Love." It features "I'm a Mess" by Ed Sheeran, "Stay With Me" by Sam Smith, "Higher Love" by James Vincent McMorrow, and "Ocean" by Lady A, and "We'll Be Fine" by Luz.
Nice. I can
do better, Congresswoman.
I love that Palmer Lucky's that playlist is just called best music ever, and it's, I mean, Jesus Christ. "Wake Me Up When September Ends" is so awesome. I mean, yeah. Whatever. It's something to be said about these guys just kind of having arrested development for the last time that they were called gay in junior high. Like they just never, ever got past that, and it comes out in every aspect of their lives or whatever the hell, which I get.
Well, okay, so this guy's out here. He's scraping the Spotify data from public figures. So let me ask you guys, Jake, Thomas, and Chris, if your Spotify playlists or if your Spotify were to be leaked to the public, what's something on there that would be the most embarrassing?
Oh, you know what's funny is I was just clowning on them for Charlie XCX, but I was just in my car, like just sitting there drinking a Liquid Death and just listening to Pink Panthers like over and over again. Just is this illegal? I was just listening to that song like over and over and over again because I like it. But also I'm a middling podcaster. You know what I mean? Like there's something to be said about like you're going on the news and you're like, I'm standing up to Vladimir Zelensky. We're gonna end this brutal war through fucking strength and peace or whatever the hell. And you have the playlist of like a deeply closeted Christian boy. That's what you're making the hard calls to, you know what I mean? Like that's what you're just sitting at home in your journal, you're like, I gotta make hard decisions, you know. I think the apple's rotten right to the core from all the things I never said. This missile is gonna kill 100 million brown kids. I think the apple's rotten right to like just over and over and over again.
Yeah, Palmer Luckey designing a new missile that specifically homes in on children.
Yeah,
and I'd like to say to them, bye.
Yeah. Mr. Lucky.
I would say for my own part, like one time it was like one of those like end of year like your yearly listens like wrap up that everyone posts them at that part of the year. I remember I stopped myself from posting it because one of my most listened to songs for like 2023 or something was the Red Circle theme from John Wick Part 1.
That's pretty sick. Yeah.
It was just, like when he's in the club just killing people, and I'm like, look, it's on my playlist because it's what I listen to when I'm imagining myself doing CQC and room clearing.
Yeah, you do.
Okay?
Yeah. Every man has to have a doing karate to enemies playlist. You know how often I think about just walking, just in Minecraft, walking into the White House and just doing like roundhouse kicks to everybody. It probably takes up an hour of my night, like 7 days a week. You know what I mean? I let God sort them out. Even the aides, the staffers. I'm listening to fucking 360 by Charlie XCX.
Like the end of Civil War.
Yeah,
the end of that movie.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
I do have a public playlist online that is just titled IRA Anthems, and it's only 8 songs.
That's beautiful. I love that.
But it features, all the classics.
All the classics,
And then Behind the Wire, My Little Armalite, Come Out You Black and Tans, The Rising of the Moon, Nation Once Again.
My Little Armalite is a great one.
I think in terms of ways that I could embarrass myself, I listen to a lot of like whenever I smoke weed, I'll listen to like stoner rap, like 2012, like Wiz Khalifa and Currency and stuff. and also whenever I work out, I listen to a lot of Rammstein.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that definitely qualifies as sub 80 IQ activities, but I it is what it is at this point.
Hey, I like that Du Haas song. I mean that really slams.
I used to have a ton. I used to have a really long polka playlist that I was trying to in high school. I was trying to like, when you have an idea for a music thing but you don't have any musical talent. I was trying to make like polka based like funk beats, like 90s, like Memphis style. And so I just
like
kept
3-6 Mafia, but with like accordion
I was
samples
really
or
obsessed
something.
with like I was like, this is going to be really challenging, but once I like unlock this, like nobody else is doing it. And so I have like probably like a couple hundred polka songs saved.
That's so
on my
sick.
phone that now I can't put my phone on shuffle on the likes because polka will come up and really piss me off. And I can't remove all of it because it's not just classified under like polka or whatever. It's all this different. They've got subcategories and stuff. I ruined Spotify for myself, really.
I have a decent Spotify ruining story. I mean, my most embarrassing thing would probably be how many different James Murphy DJ sets that I have saved as playlists on Spotify. But for a long time, my Spotify was unusable because Molly and I had been traveling once, and in Italy, we got talking to these like Italian girls. And during the course of the conversation, one of them was like, "Do you like trap music?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." And she like took my phone and signed in to like show me all this Italian trap music on my Spotify. But then I couldn't get her account unlinked for like 3 years. Every time the Spotify Wrapped came around, it was like, you have listened to 40,000 minutes of Il Gangstero, like Italian trap music.
That's awesome.
I've since finally reclaimed it, but for 2 or 3 years there, like if I just put Spotify on shuffle, it would play like two, deep cut 70s disco songs or whatever I'm listening to, and then Italian trap music.
That's so sick. I love that.